Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Robert Hall again, Project Elect, enthusiastic leaders engaging in changing times. As we have promised with Project Elect, we promise to be a conduit for the community, to put information out there, to enter community events, anything to move our community forward and to give the information and to work with people that's doing positive things in our community. Project Elect, we've been in service now a little bit over 3 years. We have a full board, and we've been talking a whole lot recently about COVID and COVID-19 and the vaccine, but we're changing gears a little bit tonight. We wanted to look into our community and some of the things that's plaguing our community and what we can do better. So tonight we have a special guest that's with us. We have our newly elected president of Lee County NAACP, Mr. Charles Curtis Moore. So I need the middle name. So how are you doing tonight?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for asking.
Right. Glad to have you. And before we get off into our conversation, I will say, please share this on your Facebook. Please subscribe to the Project Elect Facebook and the YouTube channel. So we're moving, striving, trying to do things to keep the information coming. So tonight, we know that we have communities, we have people that's trying to be better, people that's trying to need to be protected. We have issues that plague our community, and we have to have someone to step forward to help people that can't help themselves. And so I'm proud to be here tonight with Mr. Charles Moore. And the thing is Mr. Moore, I understand that you are a family man.
Yes, sir.
I know that you're married. I was looking on your Facebook, and can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I've been married now. Known my wife for 33 plus years. We've been married 20, well, actually 32, but 25 by law, 26 by law. We have two children. We have two biological and one adopted son.
Okay.
Who's now 8. So yes, we did start over just a little bit there.
Okay.
Well, he just turned 9. Pardon me. He just turned 9. I've been a business owner, self-employed for a little over 24 years. My wife and I, we've been residents here now 26 years.
26 years. Okay.
In the county, in the city of Tupelo here. We run a ministry called Life Culture, the Empowerment Center, located at 630 A&D Street here in Tupelo, where and also out of that, we are a nonprofit organization that we also reach out to help the homeless and give back to our communities, such as Showers of Love, where we open our ministry up. They can come in and do showers on Saturday and Mondays from 8:30 until 12 noon, open to the homeless and those that are in need. They can come in and do showers and take laundry. And we team with people such as Mute, other resources here in the city, such as Mute, that try to help get the transition of homeless back into housing. We team with also, we have licensed counselors that come to our ministry to help there as well. And that, when they come to hours there on Saturday mornings, that counseling is free. But when they go to the counselor's office, there is a pay. But they volunteer their time to come and help us in our endeavor to help change and impact our community and be the change that we want to see.
Now, you're originally from, is it Houston, Mississippi?
Yes, Houston, Mississippi.
What made you want to come to Lee County, Tupelo area? Is that something to say we want to relocate to a bigger city, or something that kind of drove you here?
Well, I never had Tupelo in my radar per se to come. It was by a chance that when I was in Houston, I remember being a teenager, and we had nothing to do at night. And I was with some of my older friends and family, and they would be doing their things, and I didn't like what they were doing. And so I remember laying there on the under the street light one night about 1, 2 in the morning, which I should have been at home at that age. And I said, "There's nothing here. This ain't what I want the rest of my life." So my mind was already made up to do something different. I didn't like the lifestyle that I was in, so to do something different. So when I had the opportunity to go to college on a scholarship, and went, and that's where I met my wife.
Now, was that ICC?
ICC.
Now, was that I'm looking at you. Now, was that a football scholarship?
Yes, it was. A football scholarship. Yes, it was.
Now, what position? I am curious about that.
At that time, I played running back and I played strong safety. In fact, I played 2 sides at one time. Both sides of the ball. When I first went there, my freshman year, then my sophomore year, when I was in an accident, I only played that one side, which was just tailback. And but I had an accident, of course, my career was over after that, and I was in a car accident and had some injuries, which hampered me then. but I was still determined that my life would not be ended because of that career thing. In fact, the business that I'm in now, I didn't even go to college for.
And that's what I wanted to ask. Now, I do know, first of all, you are a minister.
Yes, sir.
And all the things you're naming with Life Culture Ministry, and I was just looking at some of the things that you've done. I mean, you're feeding the hungry. You have counselors coming in. Is that what drives Charles Moore to give back? Is that?
Well, what drives me to give back is that there's a need. I have compassion for humanity, and so it's not a line of demarcation for me as far as when it relates to help or assisting people. Some people have a higher echelon to go, whether it's finances or whether the color of your skin or whether it's who you know. If we can help, we help. And so we kind of erase the lines of where we will help at. Some people draw the lines where they will help, but where we erase the lines and just look at humanity, that we're in a position that we can help. Let's use the gifts that we have to be the change that we need to see in our community.
Right. Now, being a contractor, how did that skill? I mean, you were on a football scholarship. How did you come out? Actually, I think you're doing very well, very successful as a contractor in your ministry. How did construction come about?
Well, how it came about was I always like to see things torn up and put back together. I always had an interest in that. And with that being said, when I came out of college, I went to work for F.L. Crane. My uncle was a brick mason. He just recently passed here this past year, John Moore. He was a brick mason. One of my other uncles was like in carpentry. All of them, they learned at a very age on how to take care of themselves because they didn't have as much money as other people. So they had to use what they had. And so I always thought if I could do this and help another company grow, then why can't I do it on my own? And it doesn't take me long to figure out numbers. I'm a thinker. So it's not much that you have to show me or tell me. Somehow I can look at it, figure it out, see how I go. Okay, this is easy to do. It's not as complicated as we put. In other words, remove the boundaries and the inner you will always show up. But when you put boundaries on and saying, I can't do that, then that stops you. And me coming from some people said poor poverty. I didn't know we were poor until I saw someone else that actually told me we were poor. And I accepted the fact that, okay, I don't have what they have. So that's poverty. I equated that because I didn't have what they had, that was poverty. But the being a strong man and being an individual that could see things beyond where I was, I always had that vision as a child. But some other people, the outside entities that I was around, said that we were poor from the base in which we live. And according to this construct in this society, we were poor. But to us, we were never poor.
Now, I mean, been married 30 plus years. I mean, wonderful family. I mean, we've seen all that on Facebook. Successful in your ministry.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously, God wants to give back. He wants to help us, those who can't help themselves. I mean, you got your company. You're doing very well. Now, my question is to you: when you step out into the community and you take lead of an organization like the NAACP, you're placing yourself in an area where people may attack you. You place yourself in an area where you've got to get involved in issues. You've got to do all these things. And I guess I just want to ask you point blank, you're doing very well, and I appreciate you stepping up, but I got to ask, what pushed you out there? A lot of people wouldn't do it. A lot of people say, I don't want anything to do with the public. I'm doing very well,
Well, I'll say this, that even as a child, I never liked bullies. Regardless of who you were, I just didn't like to see people bullied because of a social construct. Finances, fat, small, tall. I've got a large head. For as it relates to normal people, my body was smaller. So people would make fun of my head, but if I allowed that to stop me or to stop my vision of where I'm going, then there's someone on the outside controlling me and not me. I think everyone should be in control of their own lives, not that someone else. So with that being said, there are certain people that don't understand they have more control if they would just believe more in themselves. And me as a leader, and being who I am, in fact, I wouldn't even call myself a leader. Other people do a good job of that. I'll just call myself Charles Moore. And so with that being said, what pushed me out was to see the construct of our community and our leadership in our community was failing. Even from the church to the administration of our government, certain people just don't have a chance. So how do we get a chance if we don't learn to fight for ourselves, if we don't learn where to stand up, if we don't learn how this thing operates, and then begin to reconstruct these things that they'll fit us based on the laws and the Constitution of the United States of America. And so that's what pushed me out. I said, okay, well, what if he's going to lose everything? When we started our ministry, we understood that if no one shows up, we're to do what we're chosen to do, not based on who shows up, but based on our passion, our desire for our community. And so that's what we do. Whether someone gives an offering or not to assist us in our community, we've been put in a position that we can fund what we do. And so, do we receive donation? Yes, we do. But before donations come, my wife and I have been established and put in a position where we still can reach out. Hopefully, that the community seeing that we're reaching out, that the community will begin to reach back out to their own community. We're being the first example of the line of drawing that line to say, okay, how are we going to make this work? We're not going to look over there to make it work. We're not going to depend on you to make it work. We're going to look within ourselves to make it work. So that's what pulled me out to the NAACP. In fact, someone first invited me to do it, asked me to do it, and I said, no, I got too much going on, too many things I'm doing. Then they said, well, we need somebody. Our other president is not going to run again, and we want you to be in. If you would you come in? So I joined the NAACP because of something. I couldn't change things. I saw the power and I saw the structure, which in leadership, being the example of leading properly, using the tools that's there, you can build a metropolis. We've seen this city being built. With the right leadership, we've seen these buildings come up. They have great architects, great people to work, how to motivate people to build this building, your business. Likewise, so then if I have the abilities to help change our world, why not use them in the right place rather than me being so selfish? Have I lost money? Sure, I've lost money. I lost many jobs when it come down to the Ronnie Shumpert issue because of my stance on that. People that knew me backed away. Yes, I lost money, but it wasn't the money that I was trying to go after, as did the lifestyle that I was trying to build and construct here in not only Mississippi but in the world.
And when you brought up that incident there, because we all we know it very well, you were actually out front, pushing for things even before you actually became or even considered being the president of NAACP. So what do you see in your vision that's going to change things? What type of leadership would you put out in front of the NAACP that hasn't been put there? What do you see? What is Charles Moore's vision?
Well, if I don't like the music, I don't dance to it. I've seen a lot of leaders do that. If I don't scratch, I don't itch, I don't scratch. In other words, I think I can still be me. Being a man, I don't have to change everything just to get things done. But coming to understand respect and honor and having integrity and character, that when the lights are off, I don't have to just sneak behind the back door to get something just to undermine the people or just to get myself in the door. I think my character, my integrity, and my drive actually pushes me in the door, opens the door for me, and I have enough sense to walk in without having to backdoor somebody, but at the same time throw Robert under the bus. I don't have to do that or throw my community under the bus just to get my family ahead. I think if I teach the whole community and they see me, that I'm willing to get my hands dirty, then more people are willing to get their hands dirty. Then once we get our hands dirty, we can come to the table and wash our hands together. If I help Robert up, help Jeremy up, help Margaret up, help Mary up, and all of us begin to come up, we recognize now that we don't have to pull each other down. Because if I get 10 people up, then there's 10 more people that we can help 10 more people up. And we can keep multiplying this till we got everybody in the mindset and we release this energy in our community that we can come up by helping each other. Not taking from each other, but helping each other and increasing on the gifts that we have, the talents that we have, and nurturing those talents and supporting each other. Then we can begin to build a social construct and a financial basis in our own community that we can be proud of and that others won't come in and take over. So that's my job as an NAACP leader. Not just only for the Black community, but as a community as a whole.
And that was going to be my next question. We brought the community, we're thinking about the community. We know what the NAACP stands for. There's been rumors, I won't push it a little bit.
Okay.
There's been rumors that I don't think that Charles Moore can be effective to work across the racial lines. In other words, work with everybody in the community. We think that's going to be a challenge for Mr. Moore in order to do that. What do you say to that? I mean, I just want to clear that up because that's been said that you can't work across the racial lines in order to work with other people.
I'll use my son.
Yeah.
My son played football at Itawamba Agriculture High School. He's 5'9". He wasn't very fast. Okay? Running backs, tailbacks need to be fast, playing at a 4A school. My son ended up rushing for 1,400 yards one year, 1,700 the next year. He ended up making an all-star team. Ended up getting a scholarship. Being as small as he was about 185 pounds. Okay? What does that say? Is that he couldn't break the long runs. He didn't have the speed. But I told him it wasn't the speed, it's knowing what to do, how to do, and when to do it. And those characteristics are built into you. I'm perfectly happy in the color of my skin. I'm proud of who I am and where I was born, in the family that I came from. So with that being said, I'll never deny where I've been or where I'm at. But in that, I understand that there's a whole environment out there that may be afraid of me. If there's fear, that's their problem, not mine. I won't allow them to make decisions for me. So with that being said, I can sit at the table with anyone that'll hear me and respect me and my stance from where I come from just as well I respect them as where they come from. Then what we do, we have both sides. Now let's come to the table and see what works for all of us.
So I just want to dispel that myth. I mean, I wanted to hear from you. So what you're saying is that if the opportunity arises, you can work with anybody.
Oh, sure.
Race, color, it doesn't matter because it takes us all as a community. Is that what I'm hearing?
It takes us all as a community.
Okay.
Many times we're in a position now that the blacks are there and the whites are there and the Chinese are here within their own communities. But we have to come back out and watch a ball game. We all sit in the community. We all work together to sit at their ball game and watch a ball game. And we still go to our own respective corners. Why can we work at a ball game together and enjoy the ball game, but we can't work out here in life together?
Wow. Okay.
It's a choice to be where you want to be and to accept or not accept what you want to accept. I choose to work at the table with anyone that will sit at the table and work with me in regards to respect and honor toward both sides of the table.
Okay. One other thing, and I realize I'm pushing a little bit, but I think we need to know this. Now, a lot of people think you're very aggressive. That you're very aggressive. You come out with guns loaded when there's an issue come up. What do you say to that? I mean, it's just a question. If that's aggressive, if that's you, that's fine. I just want to know. All right, do you feel that way?
Well, it's a matter of opinion. Some may say I'm fat. Some may say I'm fine. It's a matter of opinion based on whose idea and ideology that we're talking about. I cannot say that I'm not aggressive or I am aggressive. That is to the eye of the beholder, to the one that addresses me or to the one that judges me. But with that, me being aggressive, I'm straight. I'm to the point. I don't dance if I don't like the music. I don't scratch if I ain't itching. To some people, that's aggressive. Some people want me to dance even if I don't like the music. I've just never been that type guy. If I disagree with you, I'm going to have that conversation. Many people are afraid of me because of my approach, because I'm not very soft and passive. And some people say I'm soft or passive or too hard. There again, some people say I'm fine. Some people say I'm not. I cannot dance between those lines because that tells me then that I'm putting myself within boundaries. I'm allowing other people to control where I'm going. And I think in order to be a leader, you have to have boundaries, but you have to have a direction in which you're going. Am I trying to be aggressive? No, but I am in a position where and I've built my business with respect and honor. And the people that I've done business for, I think I have a great rapport with them. And it's across the board for people that's in the high echelon of money and people that are in the low echelon of money. Right in the middle, I volunteer my work. In fact, we volunteer a lot of work to help certain people. But when it comes to making, addressing things, depends on which hat is needed. That depends on which hat shows up.
Now, I will say this, and I don't want to get off in the issue. I would say there was an issue, a couple weeks ago, and you did come out, you did an interview, and there was a diverse showing when you came out on camera. I will say that. And it seems like there was a coordinated effort with black and white to address an issue. So I got to give you that one. And so people that think you can't work across, just go back and look in the newspaper, look at the video, whatever. So as the leader now And is there a vision in the next 3 months, 6 months, or you expecting to make any changes, or are you expecting to address any issues that you can make us aware of, or is there something right now you just kind of, I know you got elected in November of 2020 and you were sworn in January 21, so you just kind of feeling your way through this newly position here?
My wife is the base of my strength. She can balance me without ever saying anything. Just watching her, if I say something or if I address something, watching her energy, because I'm so compassionate about my wife and pleasing her. But at the same time, I never move out of my comfort zone as being a husband or a father or a provider or a man. But I balance myself based on her energy. And I respect and honor her. With that being said, I have a place of transition that we're in right now as coming in as I've never been an NAACP leader. So I'm learning the structure of the NAACP, national and on the basis of state and local. And those govern the NAACP by the bylaws and helping to get the basis of my leadership, the executive board, in the proper position, getting them properly trained for to chair in the committees that they're in, that we can effectively reach out into our community and serve the community the way the NAACP is established since 1909. With that being said, my vision first was to establish the executive board to whereas we can now better serve, and not just the president going around doing everything, but there are people that's in different chairs and committees that does that. With that being said, we're now aligning ourselves with the issues and the needs of our community. So therefore we can address those issues and needs of our community. Another thing we're doing is I don't think Mississippi is so much as a red state as Mississippi is a suppressed state. Suppression and oppression can come in that it suppresses you, that you become adjusted and conform to the oppression, that you become suppression. And in that, many people have just become non-existent as far as it relates to living a life that's productive, or coming out of the slums, or not being a thug, or not being the last one on the bottom on the totem pole. I'm not on the bottom of the totem pole. I've never saw myself that way, but many others do. So therefore they respond as they think. So therefore in leading, and my vision going forward is to establish people and their gifts, make them aware of the power and the structure that they were naturally given, and that the energy that they have accepted has actually suppressed them even further than the gerrymandering that's been happening, than the laws that's being made, or how the police has attracted them, or how the city has not attributed themselves to their issues. That the main issue is that I want to center not everything on the outside that the people need to make adjustments to. Their first adjustment is coming from within you. Teaching them that the greatness and power that they have to be great, and the structure that we need to reconstruct their minds. So that's my goal going forward, and having kind of like town halls in each community, going around talking, encouraging, and having our executive board to go around and show what we're offering, having them to be a part of a growing community. And the NAACP in Lee County, 90,000 people, almost 90,000 people here in Lee County, that me as the president of the NAACP has to fight for the civil rights of 90,000 people, or stand for the civil rights and the admonishment and the correction of laws that may go against them for their civil rights of almost 90,000 people.
All race,
creed, and color.
Okay. So for those of you just may be joining us, Robert Hall, Project Elect, we're a conduit for the community, put out much needed information to the ones that need it. We're talking to the newly elected president of Lee County NAACP, Mr. Charles Curtis Moore. And so we're getting ready to close out now, but we do ask you to share this video and even on our YouTube channel. But in closing, and we really appreciate you being here. I've been telling, we've been wanting to talk to you. My thing is, I think we're about the community. We want to see things done right.
Yes.
And in order, and the people that have the information, we want to build a relationship with them.
Yes.
So we'll tell you here on camera that we want to support everything that you're doing in the line with making this community better.
Well, we're going to do our best.
Stay
focused. And we thank you so much for inviting us on your platform. Our my committee chair on membership, her name is Chevelle Champ, which does an excellent job of expressing the needs and the commitment to that our unit has to our community. Also, as far as membership, her number is 66. Is that okay?
Oh, sure.
Her number is 662-687-0160. Her name is Chevelle Champ. If there's you can reach me at 662-871-1841. Also, if there's you want to email us, B as in boy, Lee County, NAACP at gmail.com. Email us there. Secretary will get it. I'll get it as well. But our main goal is transitioning Lee County into a 21st century community that the world can be proud of.
And I can agree with that. We all want our area to be proud and be known nationally, be an example.
Yes.
For moving our city forward in the right way. That's it. I'm done. We appreciate you talking with us. I want to thank Mr. Maurice, the man behind the camera. Again, please share this video, share the information. We think it's critical information, contact information. Also visit Project Elect YouTube channel and subscribe to that. And until next time, good night.